But then also, I mean, we can also make the argument, why is it the case that, for example, on dating apps, women only swipe on like the top 5-10% of men?
I'll pause.
Well, because that's how.
Where it's strictly about assessing one's physical appearance.
Well, that's
so women are much pickier when it comes to physical appearance.
I agree with
And
you.
I'd actually like to go around the table on this. What percentage of men do you find physically attractive?
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe 40?
40%? Okay.
I don't know.
What about you?
I would say between 70 and 80. I feel like I acknowledge people's physical like features, and I'm like, I can acknowledge you're attractive without being attractive to you.
That makes sense. Okay. What about you?
50-50.
50-50?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Wait, what was the full question?
What percentage of men, like if you're walking down the street, are you physically attracted to? That's the
Probably
question.
50,
What did you
probably.
think the question was, Kayla?
Like just attractive, not like actually like
Jump out of my skin
Yeah.
attracted to you.
No, you don't. No, I'm just saying, like, think of it binary. Yes
Yeah.
or no.
No, I definitely say 50%.
There's a lot of cap going on here, but okay. What about you?
I'm gonna be 100% honest, and I'm gonna tell you why. None.
What? Because
No
you're in a
one? Don't even-
relationship.
Well, duh, because obviously I'm in a relationship.
Okay, but like, can you maybe hypothetically, like, let's assume you weren't. Is your boyfriend gonna
No,
like
like,
beat you
I
if
don't
you
usually-
hypothetically answer the question? Like,
Can you let me finish? I'm so sorry. But so I've been with my boyfriend for a couple of months, so obviously like I know what you're talking about, like girls walking down the street. Like before I had my boyfriend, like would I be walking down the street and just look at a guy and be like, oh, he's cute? No.
I would.
so even before you were in a relationship, you found all guys unattractive?
Not unattractive, but I didn't gush over them or turn my head or look twice.
No, but that's not really the question. I'm not asking. I'm not.
Oh, so
they
you
don't
mean
have
just
to be like
attractive in
this
general?
like top tier specimen, but just like
Did you
a guy
find
that, do you find
the
them
basketball
attractive?
team? Was the basketball team
Okay,
attractive?
I get your question now. Like, do I find men attractive? Yeah,
What percentage
I'm bi.
would you say?
What percentage of men do you
Oh.
find attractive?
20%.
Has anybody here been on dating apps?
Yes.
Has been on? What
Yeah.
percentage of men are you swiping yes on?
30.
10%.
Well, that's very different than your previous. So
Definitely
in person
30.
somehow it's 50-50, but on dating apps it's.
No, I meant to say like I changed mine from 50-50 to 10%.
You've been on dating apps?
Yeah.
What percentage of men on dating apps do you swipe yes on?
Not a lot. Actually, I want to change my answer too because I didn't understand it at first. Probably like
Okay.
5%.
Okay, there we go. Now the truth comes. Okay.
I was just gonna say that I stand by mine being
That's fine.
70-80 because I think everybody, all the men in this room are attractive, and I like objectively so. Like I think that you are.
We know.
So I
Thanks.
just
That just made
Thanks,
him
babe.
unattractive.
What about
I
you?
said that just made him unattractive.
What percentage of men, like on dating apps, what percentage of men do you swipe yes on?
On dating apps, none. I would say 2%.
2%? What about you?
I don't really use dating apps, but I find that like it's really easy to like find qualities where I'm like, oh, like that's attractive in a person.
Just looks.
getting
Just
further.
looks. Walking down the street if you're not on dating apps.
I don't go outside much. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a streamer. I don't leave my room.
I
I'm a
don't know.
gamer
How about,
streamer.
did you go to college?
No, I did not.
Did
Like
you go to the
generally, I
grocery
think I
store?
can
or-
find. I feel like I can find something attractive in like almost every guy that's like able-bodied and like healthy enough. Just like
Okay. All right. What about you?
I feel like we've missed out on our other back there.
Oh. What's yours?
I'd probably say like 5%.
5%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm a person who like when I look at dating or attractiveness, I look in personality.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't attracted to my exes, but I got to know them, and that's what made me like who they are. I like people for who they are.
You
as a
weren't
person.
attracted?
Did you tell them
physically
that?
attracted to
Yeah,
any
they
of
know
their-
that. They know I wasn't
knew?
attracted to them, but
Shit.
once I got to know them,
Sweet.
but now I do think they're attractive because
Oh.
I like who they are.
Don't tell
No,
that to your next
period. I
date.
get what
Tell
you're
him,
saying.
tell him,
Don't
tell
tell
him there was
a guy
a
that.
fire. As soon
It's
as
like
he saw
his
him.
personality made him
Couldn't
cute.
contain it. Who's next?
See, like, I don't like dating apps for that specific reason that it's based on looks. So I don't even look at what they look like. I just go, yeah. So I swipe. I used to swipe like 10% when it's like on the streets. I'd say like 40%.
Okay.
Like more on the street.
What
yeah.
about you?
I don't use dating apps, but typically
Ever?
in any room, I'll find a guy that kind of is attracted to me. So maybe
Okay,
like
well,
5 to
did you go to
1%.
college?
Yes.
What percentage of the men when you went to college did you find attractive?
Maybe-
Physically attractive?
Maybe one every 3 semesters. And even then, I didn't really find it.
Okay, so I mean, checkmate. Women are way pickier when it comes to physical attractiveness.
See, but I think that
Checkmate.
women will compromise.
But do you
Take the L.
But
Also,
they're
that's fine
they're
with me.
they're pickier. But who do you think it's
is it
more
a 10?
important to?
See, I think women are.
That's a good question. I think as a man, you can, like, if your personality's on point, if you have some sort of status or you're wealthy, for example, you can make up for a lack of physical attractiveness.
I don't think you can make up for it as a girl.
No, as a guy. As a guy.
But I'm saying as a girl, though, I don't think you really can.
They can make up for it by being pleasant.
That's true. That's true. There is ways you can make up for it.
Why you laugh about
Or
that?
quote unquote wifey material.
Pleasant,
Dude,
is,
I'll tell
pleasant
a
is the
lot
nicest way you can say it.
A lot of men will, like, happily, if it's like she's a 9 but she's a fucking raging lunatic bitch versus like she's a 6 but she's submissive sweetheart, brings you peace, never quarrelsome.
Every day.
I think a lot of, like, for maybe that chick, she's good for a short-term thing. I'm not particularly interested in any short-term encounters, but for like long-term monogamous commitment, like, I think we'll sacrifice a couple points in looks if she's like a really like mellow, cool girl who brings us peace and isn't a fucking headache.
Yep.
So is that your preference of a woman?
What?
Just
a woman who doesn't quarrel?
Who's not a
that's
fucking headache.
It says in the Bible.
Yes.
Sleep on the roof and be with a
Proverbs
quarrelsome woman.
21:19. Better to was it?
Man, he's been reading.
Better to live in the desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife.
Are there any women in your life that fit that criteria?
What's that?
Are there any women in your life so far that fit that criteria?
Oh, absolutely. I think I've actually had some really wonderful women who I've dated. I've really only maybe dated. Most of the women I dated have been fantastic, great women.
That's good.
Yeah. So, but I have dated, like, I did date a girl who had BPD, and that was a major fucking mistake. And my life was fucking like constant. It was constant conflict with her, and there was never peace. And like having had that experience and dating like super mellow, calm girls, and we're never like quarreling or conflict. Like it's night and fucking day, and I'll gladly give like some looks points away for like just a really cool like girl that's,
especially if you're busy. If you're a busy guy, you do not want
my
to be
life
fighting
is
with
my life is stressful enough as it is. So like I don't want to, like, if you're the dudes who will like entertain like craziness, crazy chicks are dudes who probably have nothing fucking going for them, because a dude who's like on his purpose, he doesn't need that shit. His life is probably stressful enough. He's fighting with the world, so he doesn't want to invite in, like, he wants his girl to be his peace. And if she's not,
I feel like that's
later.
fair enough to say for women as well, though.
Oh, I think that's fair. If a girl wants a guy who's calm and mellow and, you know, is gonna also, like, because dudes can definitely bring fucking drama and conflict too.
Do you think there's more like crazy psycho lunatic women or female, or women or male?
It's probably a little more women.
I'd say
You
women.
think so? I don't know.
So.
I've met a lot of.
Wait, aren't there
But
more
why is
women?
it? Why is it? Look, I don't
Aren't there
date
more
dudes,
women,
so
though?
I don't know. But like, look, I've heard from women. There's some like nasty dudes out there. I'm not saying all dudes are perfect. Not at all. A lot of guys can move in very scummy ways and fuck your life up the same way a woman can. But like, there is certainly a trope, and I think there's certainly truth in stereotypes to some degree. Like, why is it the trope, like the nagging wife? You don't really hear about the nagging boyfriend, the nagging husband, typically. Like, how many of your dudes be nagging you, really?
Okay, a couple things.
I mean, maybe you've encountered it, but like, dudes are not nagging chicks, really.
No, but you hear
aren't
about
there,
the abusive.
Aren't there more women on the planet than men, though? So that would just be the case at the end of the day.
I'm not sure if that statistically pans out.
I'm not
something
sure.
to think about.
But I was just a question.
I think
I
think a woman to her extreme is going to be insane. I think a man to his extreme is going to be a workaholic. And I think that typically if a man is emotional and chaotic, I think he's typically someone who is, as Brian said, unemployed, has nothing going for him. And if a woman is a workaholic, she's also kind of a minority, where it's like you're kind of forsaking that which makes you a woman. It's just that those are the ones those tendencies are the unhealthy expressions of womanhood, which is being insane, or an unhealthy expression of
if you look at the bell curve of like personality disorders as well, or like if you look at the bell curve of aggression, for example, all of the psychopaths at the very top, who are like the most crazy, are all guys. That's why prisons are packed out with men. But that's also why like the corporate world is packed out with men, because you get these guys at the top who are just like willing to step on anyone's head and psychotic. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't know where the more psychos are, to be honest.